Well, obviously, everybody received the announcement today about Reeves being suspended again. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions regarding that. So let's open up the floor.
Does Reeves give you any indication that he's receptive to changing his?
I'm hoping it's a teachable moment. It's his behavior on the bench Saturday was totally against what UCLA basketball and our program stands for, and we'll see. I met with Reeves this morning after his first final, and we will talk again sometime later in the week.
Was that a cordial meeting?
Yeah, he's in our meetings. He's, it was cordial.
What do you need to see from him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We talked for a while this morning. It's a difficult time right now because he's still got his 2 more finals to complete. And, we have practice today. We didn't have practice yesterday. All our players are in finals right now. And so, like today's practice will be a short practice. We have, a couple players that can't even be there. We couldn't find a time on Tuesday where everybody could be there at the same time. Brendan Lane has an econ exam in the middle of practice today, so he won't be there. And, so we'll get a chance to visit more. Later at a later date. I want him to focus on his classes right now, or everything else is a moot point anyway.
Can you envision a situation where he doesn't come back, or an indefinite suspension?
That's conjecture, and we'll wait and see what happens.
Have you ever had a kid that you haven't been able to reach successfully, seemingly as Reeves so far, that you haven't come to a meeting of the minds with?
I mean, these kids aren't professional athletes. First of all, they're college kids, and I work very hard to try to work with each kid. But as it reflects and affects the program and the team as a whole, there's a point where enough is enough. And are we there at this point yet? We'll see with our next meeting.
And how much has Reeves' disruption been affecting the team?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question it has. And, it's been very difficult. I mean, it's definitely, a distraction. And, we don't need any distractions. It's tough enough to come together without, being distracted as a group.
Have the players come to you and said anything about his status on the team?
Have the players come to me and said, it's a tough situation for them. I mean, they're very close and good friends with Reeves off the floor. On the floor, sometimes he loses his, will lose his cool or lose his, head, and it's a different situation on and off the floor.
And are you concerned at all about losing credibility with them if you suspend them twice and to the point where it looks like maybe you're not?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's a difficult situation. It's a very sensitive thing.
Coach, what will you do, or what will he do differently this time that he didn't do the last time he was suspended? Because it didn't seem to
stay consistent. I mean, last time he was suspended, when I did bring him back, he had his best practice, the first day back. And I've talked to him about that even since, I thought last week's practices he was falling back into, some of the same patterns. And we talked about it on, Thursday after practice. And then he had another, good showing on Friday. So it's just, being consistent, and it's consistent with attitude, it's consistent with effort, it's just consistent with, those things that are expected.
Is he different this year than last year? What happened in the year?
You know what? I expected more. As players get older and they mature and they go from freshman to sophomore and sophomore to junior, there's more, expected in terms of maturity.
Did he get away with? Was he like this last year?
Yeah, I don't think as much, and I don't know. I don't know if some of this comes with the pressure and the notoriety and the expectation of being a returning, all league player. Hard for me to say.
And when you look at your years here, that first group of kids that you had, it seemed like you connected with them and got the best out of them, and they responded. And maybe it's just a cycle that we're going through right now, but that hasn't necessarily been the case.
Well, we had a good team last year. I mean, 2 of the last 3 years, if you're talking about recent history, we've finished 1 game out of first place. Both in 2009, losing 3 players early to the draft in 2008 that left as freshman, sophomore, junior. In 2009, with all that, we were still able to be playing for a conference championship until the last week. And last year, same thing. We're playing for the conference championship on the road at Washington and Seattle and at Washington State. We miss out by 1 game. So that, that indicates to me that we've been right there here. And
so what I'm asking is, some guys have left. You're having problems with Reeves, and Joshua didn't necessarily take care of what he needed to take care of in the offseason. Is it the kind of players that you're recruiting right now? Is it just?
Yeah, I think Josh is going to be a good player. I mean, and he's not where he was a year ago at this time, and it's evident that he's got a lot of work to do right now to progress. But part of it's all the expectations that we have. He finished so strong, and so I'm really happy that we have Josh, and
But as far as who you're recruiting, the type of players that you're recruiting, does that change at all? I mean,
I think it's really generality when you're saying that. It's each kid's an individual kid, and we've been very fortunate during my tenure to have a lot of really good kids and good players, and so I feel fortunate, and there's a lot of things you can't control, so we are where we are. I mean,
Coach, you talked about his behavior on the bench. What is
when I'm during the middle of the game, Jim, I'm not looking down at the bench to see what the guys are doing, but even like with a minute to go, Reeves was visibly, smiling on the bench and joking around, on the bench, and it's just like, it's totally inappropriate. And there were a couple other things that occurred during the game that I spoke with him today about that I'm not going to share with you all, that were very much inappropriate. And so, that all being said, I'm not the only one that feels this way. My staff, we talk a lot about this, and the problem is the distractions take you away from doing which is coaching everybody and doing the best with our team, and we've got to get to that. I mean, as talented a player as Reeves is, he's got to understand that no one's bigger than the team, and the team comes first, and there's certain adherence of values and principles as being a part of UCLA basketball player that need to be followed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
If that's the attitude, then why not just kind of make it a clean break of it? Why give him what is now?
But I think as I explained a little bit earlier, John, is that this is not a professional deal. I mean, this kid's a kid. He's actually turned 20 this summer, and it is something that we've been working and talking about for quite a while. So that's at what point does that happen? That's a the all-important question.
When you're meeting with him and having these discussions, is he implying that he wants to be here?
Yeah, no question. When I suspended him the first time, and I met with him after suspending him, yeah, he was very contrite and really did, And I think, it's there's a lot of reflection goes on when something like this happens. I mean, now it's happening again, and yeah, like today when I met with him, he was very, reserved, and he wasn't, that someone asked about how his personality was. He was, very reserved, not.
Are you working with a sports psychologist at all, or have you thought about that?
No, and if I was, I wouldn't be able to share that with you. That would be, against the law.
When you tell Reeves about the conduct on the bench being inappropriate, does he get it? Does he agree that yes, it was, or does?
I don't know that. I'm just. That's what's important to me is he understands that that's what I'm telling him, and you think about this. These things are totally against what's appropriate.
Ken, have you ever had a kid that's brought the door baffled you as much as Reese has?
Has what?
Baffled you? I don't know if that's the right word, but been a kind of enigma to you. And do you on something like this? Do you call another coach or get advice on the person how to handle a kid? Or?
No, I've been doing this long enough, but I don't know. It is very difficult because I think that after things happen at times, and he's sitting back, and it's away from the emotion of the game or away from an outburst or whatever he's done, that he recognizes over and over again, yeah, I was in the wrong, and I'll do better. But it just comes to a point where it's
Ben, are there a finite number of chances that you give him in a situation like this before you do have to make a final decision?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what that is, but definitely.
Coach, at least from kind of my vantage point or whatever, you watch him on the court. This isn't the first time he's had these issues. Going back to freshman year, he's had outbursts. Hindsight is 20/20, but do you feel like you bear any responsibility for not maybe nipping it in the bud a couple of years ago? These kind of things.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to as freshman year, but I think that, now when things should be, like I mentioned earlier, you should be improving every year in every aspect as a player, on the floor, your skill set, but also it's you should grow and mature as a person a little more. So that's kind of the expectation that I have.
And is it suspension, is he still expected to come to practice, or?
No.
So he's not going to be around?
He won't be practicing the next few days.
How are you going to be able to judge where his progress is?
First of all, I'm going to see how, if he does what he's supposed to off the floor, which is, the academic component, which, I expect that he would do. But I want him to have some time away. It's a privilege. It's a privilege and an honor to be a part of the UCLA basketball program, and it's not something to be taken for granted.
Is each kid different? Would there be a different amount of chances one kid gets over another, rather than having several of you do this X amount of time?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how many suspensions I've had since I've been here. How many have there been? I want to say this is the only one.
Has he given any indication that he's going to leave school after this semester?
No, we talked this morning. It wasn't a long conversation, so no, there hasn't been any discussion from his part on that.
Ben, are the issues just basketball related, or is there something going on academically?
It's basketball.
Are his parents, are you speaking to them?
Yeah, I talk to his parents all the time, especially his mom, but I've talked to his dad as well, and I'll be contacting them tonight.
in 2 days? They're with you as far as, are they on your side?
I mean, they want what's best for Reeves, and they, you know.
He was a kid who had some issues in high school that I'm assuming you were aware of.
You know, his issues really, as far as we knew, didn't crop up till the spring of his senior year in terms of anything major. He committed to us as a junior, January of '08, as I remember.
And did that concern you at all when those started?
Yeah, there was an issue off the floor that was concerning.
Coach, the last suspension only lasted 2 days, you expect this to last a little longer?
Yeah, actually, the last suspension was about 5 days. Yeah, it was a Saturday that he was suspended. And Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I mean, I don't know when I told you guys about it, but it was longer than 2 days.
Coach, if and when you decide to bring him back, is his next strike the last strike?
Yeah, that's been, I think, asked in a different way today, and you know, I'm not gonna, you know, pigeonhole that. I mean, it's we'll see where we are next time we meet.
Would you say it's unlikely he'll play Saturday for sure? Will he not play Saturday?
Yeah, it's unlikely he'll play Saturday.
Do you feel he really wants to be at UCLA? Does he want to be a college basketball player at UCLA?
Well, I mean, I think we've had enough discussions now where he knows where we are. So for him to be able to do that, he has to be able to control his actions.
Have you noticed any difference in the play of the team when he's on the floor and when he's not on the floor?
Well, I actually thought that in Maui he played well in stretches in a couple of parts of the first 2 games. You know, in our last game against Texas, you know, he's not playing to the level he's capable of, and hasn't really since we started. And you know, this has been you know, it's been a very difficult thing for me, and it's not fun, and I don't think it's fun for our team. You want to have consistency, and you know, without these kind of distractions.
When you talk to him, what is his explanation for this behavior?
Yeah, it's more, I don't know about explanation. Typically, Reeves is more apologetic than anything. That's after you sit down with him. On the floor, it may be a little different. Yeah, I think where it becomes an issue is when he gets into competition, and you know, things are sometimes the adversity of situations are what he has difficulty dealing with, for sure.
In the past, usually it's been more of an angular response. Seems like the other day was a lot different.
Yeah, you know, sometimes Reeves, though, and this is the first time I've ever seen this ever. Sometimes when he has adversity into situations, he'll shut down and, you know, just stop trying. And I've never, you know, that is baffling, because I've never seen that with anybody.
Any questions about Penn before I let the players come in?
Any injury update? Any report for anything?
You know, I talked to our trainer about an hour ago, and he said that Zeke has a sore foot and I'm not sure what foot it is, and ligament, and may not be able to practice today.
That last time Reeves missed a game, you guys didn't play a very good game. Are you concerned about that same situation this weekend?
No.
How did Zeke cook with?
We played a really good team when he didn't play against Middle Tennessee. I mean, I did tell someone the other day that I expect Middle Tennessee to be an NCAA tournament team this year. I mean, I think they're really good. They don't have the sexy name and the history and tradition of Kansas or Michigan or Texas, but let me tell you something, those guys are really good, and they're very well coached. They can play. Pardon me? Not sure. In the game somehow. And I don't know when it started bothering him. I saw him today just briefly, and he had mentioned it to our academic coordinator. But I just saw him for a second. So, the trainer looked at it, and I'm not sure. What I'll do is have Ryan get an update on that after practice and send you guys a email or a text.
What are your impressions of Penn? They've got a couple of guards who are something else.
Yeah, Cartwright is a Loyola High School product and a very good player. And their leading scorer, Zach, is a really good shooter. I mean, kid's averaging, I think, 18, 20 points a game and can really stroke it. They're very well coached. They run motion. They primarily play man-to-man. They've played a very difficult schedule. So, yeah, we're going to have to play well.
And you mentioned Saturday you might start putting in some zone. Is that?
That's something we're going to work on this week. Like today's practice is always a difficult practice. The Tuesday of finals week, we're going to be doing more up and down, or we're not going to be doing a lot of scheming today. It's going to be more, conditioning. And I know, like for example, we have 5 players who have 8 a.m. finals tomorrow on our team, and have a bunch of studying to do for that. So we don't want to lose the conditioning. We want to get them up and down, and then get them going so they can finish their studies.
Any update on Parker?
Yeah, same. His knee is the same as it's been. He had the MRI a week ago today, and I think it's a week ago today, and it definitely shows there's swelling and an issue in there, and so nothing's changed.
Coach, you guys have lost the last 3 years on the weekend before finals. Is that just kind of like a weird scheduling time for you? Is it hard to get the team prepared for those games?
Yeah, I don't know how much of it rises there, but it's always difficult. It's the last week of school, so these guys are, as all college students are doing. I mean, they're scrambling here at the end to finish final papers and final preparation for, sometimes some of these classes, they have a final the last week of class, and they don't actually have a final in finals. Not always, but that happens. It happened to a couple of our guys this last week. So, you're telling me, how hard it is. It's a difficult week. Yeah.
And this will be your first game at the Honda Center. I mean, what kind of distraction or?
No, we like going down there. It's always been a good experience to take our team down to Orange County, for the Bruin fans. I mean, I was very impressed with the fan turnout we had for the exhibition game out in Inland Empire there for that game, and was really pleased. And so we hope that all of our UCLA loyals will come out to the game, and in particular all the UCLA friends and family that are in Orange County.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.